Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial, and my presence for 2025 for you is the 12 signs, a summary of my 2025 video horoscopes in short, small packages of 10, 15, 20 minutes max per sign. I focus on Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars because these are the most important and active planets that show the tangible results you'll see in your life in 2025. But if you want the extended version of those videos, I have them on my website, 2.5 hours per each sign, where I cover Neptune changing signs, Uranus changing signs, the bisextile between Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries, the eclipses. Month by month I go there, but here this is a summary for you, for the major influences, so you know where to concentrate your efforts and where the best and the biggest gains from your efforts will come. So enjoy. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising 2025. Pisces, a big chunk of this year is very much concentrated on the so-called self houses, the first, the fifth for you. As you can see, there is a huge stellium the first 4 or 5 months of the year, which means many planets will be in your sign. You're going to start feeling it from February, especially strongly. The North Node is entering your sign. Saturn is there already. Neptune is there. Venus and Mercury will go retrograde in your sign or direct after that. They'll be retrograde there. Mars, the first 4 months, is in another self house, the house of your talents and intelligence. So you're finding out who you are this year. And after Mars, Jupiter comes in your fifth house. So all the major players, for me, the major players are always Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars, if it's retrograde. They are activating self houses. You're discovering who you are, what you want, what is aligned, your authentic self, like layers are falling off. And especially with the nodes moving into your sign, the North Node and the South Node in your seventh house, Pisces. It is about North Node and South Node are symbolized by a snake, a dragon in astrology that sheds its skin. So there is a huge shedding of skin that is coming for Pisces. They will be unrecognizable after 2025. Especially the later degrees Pisces. This will be super intense year for them. If you are anything from 20 till 30 degrees Pisces, and especially from 25 till 30 degrees Pisces, all those conjunctions, all those planets and the eclipses, they're happening on those last 5-10 degrees of Pisces. Huge change. I mean, I can't even say which one because Venus goes, Mercury will be retrograde there. There is an eclipse there and in your seventh house. Saturn is on those degrees. Neptune is on those degrees, the last 5 degrees of Pisces. The early Pisces, somehow, they're out of the storm, you know? They are, and I'm not saying it's a bad storm, but look at this. This is an angular house. It's right in your sign. You're finding out who you are. You're starting a new chapter in your life, especially the bit later Pisces, but the earlier Pisces as well, because it's happening in their first house. So there is like the whole universe combines there to help you find out who you are and what the next step is, the next direction. You're building new, when all those planets line up in your sign, they're trying to help you build new foundations in your life, to start a new chapter, new book, new genre of literature, if not in your horoscope. It's the rebirth of you, the shedding of the old skin, the birth of the new one. And Saturn still being for the majority of the year in your sign for at least 9 months out of 12 says that you still have to be patient. You might not immediately see the results, but persevere. Do small steps, but daily. And Saturn really is about disciplining you, really is about making you a bit of a, what did I say, Shaolin monk, where you have discipline, but where you have faith as well, because Neptune is there, where your Saturn asks you to be organized. Saturn asks you, even though Neptune is there, but Saturn is trying to reign in Neptune now. Be organized, gather yourself a bit. Don't spread yourself thin. Focus yourself. choose one direction, prioritize. It's not about, because I know Pisces, people with strong Pisces or mutable signs, they can be like that. They can have 10 pokes in the oven and no direction, or one fish in one direction, one in the other. Now is the opposite time for you, where you are going to determine the direction. It's gonna crystallize for you, and you're gonna find the right priorities and go in that direction without being distracted. And the Saturn brings the sense of time is running out. If I don't mobilize myself now or never type of thing, the sense of time and aging becomes prevalent, a sense that, okay, I need to get serious now. And if you're not doing this consciously, Saturn will force you to do it. There will appear figures in your life that are more demanding, more Saturnian, that are more scrutinizing. But usually when it's a conjunction, it's your inner authority is pushing you to get serious, to prioritize, to put your efforts in one concentrated on mostly two directions. Saturn might ask you to take care of your health when it's the ascendant, to organize your whole life and structure, and put a lot more to remove anything unnecessary. When it's your sun, it might be about your career and what you want to achieve in life, or the important men in your life. When it's your moon, it might be connected some very important development with the mother, or with important women, or important relationships, or in your personal life or home and family, that it wants you to organize yourself there. Of course, you have to be, especially the last 5-6 degrees of Pisces, from let's say 22-3 till 30, they have to be a bit more careful with their health. So many planets there's a lot of pressure on them, but because those planets are pushing you to change something in a big way, to start in a new direction, to end with the old, to start the new that you'll be building for the next 28 years, because you're starting a 28-year cycle. Something new appears in your life, something that will stay in your life in a long time, for a long time. It might be habits, it might be people, it might be Saturn, anything Saturnian like a responsibility or duty, sometimes even children. But usually Saturn rules for you the 11th house, long-term goal that you dedicate yourself, some social or economic goal of yours, that you are shedding unnecessary activities and time-wasting activities, and giving up. Saturn allows you to give up things and to prolong gratification, to postpone gratification. So use these gifts of Saturn to train yourself, your body, your health, your career, for example, for your long-term goals. Deny yourself. Saturn allows you to deny yourself immediate pleasures and so on, to be much more disciplined overall. And Pisces needs it, because you've had Neptune for 12-14 years in your sign, which is super allowing, which is super directionless. Yes, it's very spiritualizing, but Saturn says now, back to work. So yeah, something very important, especially around the spring there for you guys, big new direction. And you see Jupiter is also on an angle the first 5 months. Well, all those other planets on an angle. The angle are the most important pivotal points. When planets are on the angles, there is action, there is changes. It's not preparation time, it's happening time. It's a peak time of activity. It's a peak time, sometimes can be some of the most stressful times, but the most happening and exciting as well. Because some of the biggest changes happen when both Saturn and Jupiter are on an angle. And that's especially valid till June for you guys. And Jupiter till June is in your 4th house. So it says there is support from your family. It says that while you're making your personal transformations, and all those planets in Pisces are asking you for you to be priority. For once in a lifetime, Pisces want to save everyone. No, focus on yourself. Instead of doing it through partnerships, through others, waiting for someone to push you, you are the generating force. You'll be the one that triggers it somehow, the activation. And gather yourself in. And oftentimes Saturn can make you lose weight as well, because it gathers you consolidate you into the core. And you're finding out who you are, what you want, where you want to go. Jupiter, the first 5 months, 4 or 5 months, very good in your 4th house, because it gives you peace of mind, Fourth house is the second mind that we have here, the stomach, the heart. So there is this comfort that Jupiter gives, this sense of being settled, so you can receive support from more supportive family circumstances, improved house or home environment. Some of you might buy properties, gain from properties, sell from properties this 2025, especially the first part. Others can add family members to the family, expanding a family. Jupiter in the fourth can improve relationships with father, mother, or parental figures, can enjoy more their parental responsibilities of home life. But this gives you, this is the foundation, the security. And Jupiter here makes us at least feel emotionally more secure and work through some of our psychological issues to be mental health, to be better as well, more stable. So that gives you happiness while you're doing the hard work of all those planets here in Pisces. There's new beginnings that you're being called to do. And then from June, Jupiter enters your fifth house. Mars was actually in the fifth house the first 4 months. Did I tell you? Yes, these are your talents. Maybe sometimes romantically the first 4 months might be a bit more challenging. Mars is a more challenging planet in the fifth house of romance. Your children might be a bit more challenging as well with Mars in the fifth house the first 3-4 months. Your creative projects, you might be reworking them or considering what are my talents, what am I really good at, because this is a house of what am I really good at, what can I shine at. Some projects or plans you might be reworking. Romantically, you might be reconsidering what you want to do. For me, it was my kids were very difficult when Mars was in the fifth house. And I was rethinking whether I should homeschool. So I was thought very alternatively. You find with Mars retrograde an alternative ways of being and ways that can happen in regards to your children, in regards to education is the fifth house, in regards to your creative project. I rethought or you work on some creative project, you reimagine it, change it. But if there were some stresses romantically or with your children, when Jupiter moves from June into your fifth house, this whole thing disappears. It all improves. So actually, I'm going to tell you that from first in May, the end of May, Mars leaves Pisces. And Neptune actually already from the beginning of April leaves Pisces. So all those heavy hitters, Saturn and Neptune, leave your sign. Just the North Node remains in your sign after May. And the South Node in your seventh house. And by the way, whenever the nodes are in the first and the seventh house, once every 9 years, fated relationships appear. So from the beginning of 2025 till the middle of 2026, eclipses, the nodes create the eclipses. They're the fated events. There will be fated relationships that appear in your life. Some will leave, some will come. Usually if someone appears, they stay for a long time, at least half a cycle of the nodes, which is 9 to, or whole cycle, 18 years. People either get married, something big in relationship happens. They will meet very important people. Like when I had the nodes here, I've gotten twice married with the nodes. Met the biggest loves of my life that ended up to marriages with the nodes. Then the first from moon or sun or ascendant. And also the last time from the ascendant, I met my most important business partner ever. So something with partnerships, but some big shift there happens. But just going back, sorry. From the moment Saturn and Neptune leaves April, the beginning of April, the end of March or sign, Saturn leaves it the end of May. And right when Saturn leaves, Jupiter moves into a water sign, Cancer. That's very supportive of you. So suddenly Saturn and Neptune, the heavy hitters, are not there. It's like the clouds disperse, lightness, clarity comes. Neptune is not there. It's like those really intense planets move away from you and just Jupiter is looking at you now. And the North Node is there, so makes you much more adventurous. Suddenly the summer from June and onwards, when Saturn is no longer there, for 3 months, you'd feel more adventurous, more easygoing, more willing to take risks. Rahu, the North Node, loves to take risks, loves to travel to foreign countries, to meet foreign people, while Saturn asks you to be traditional, to be responsible, duties, responsibilities first. But then you have a respite for 3 months in the summer. And this wilder side of Pisces comes out, and freedom. So plan your holidays for the summer, June, July, August. Mwah, beautiful for you, because only Jupiter is looking for you. And relationships should be going well, and so on. Well, Saturn and Neptune and Jupiter goes into your 5th house, which means that romantically you can fall in love for the next 1 year. You can have children, or your children can improve, or your relationship with your children can improve. It can heal if Mars created some damage first, a retrograde there. It can heal it romantically or with your children. Some creative project can come to the surface, or new creative ideas can come that you feel very inspired about. You can be full of ideas. These are the new ideas you get. Jupiter in the 5th house. And you can be luckier, more wealthy, more protected. Your physical body starts being protected. There is a lot of healing after Saturn and Neptune leave that Jupiter start doing to Pisces, especially the first 25 degrees of Pisces. They'll feel the Jupiter this year till the end of 2025. The last 5 degrees, 2026. They have to wait, but they'll still feel Jupiter making a trine to the whole sign. So you'd feel this lightening. So you can get pregnant easier when Jupiter is in your 5th house. You can create creations, whether you're a painter, whether you make videos like me, whether it's something that is your original, you become more prolific. You can be, if you're an actor, whatever, you can be in center stage roles. You can be more noticed. You can find yourself. 5th house is who you are, yourself, shining, allowing your light to shine, connecting with joy, childlike joy. Pisces, it's coming for you. I know Saturn was very heavy, and it's still very heavy in your 1st house, because you're having to define yourself, set boundaries, priorities, be serious. But then Saturn moves for 3 months. Jupiter is in your 5th house. The childlike joy, and inspiration, and finding fun things to do in life again. Letting your hair down, partying, this can also be Jupiter in the 5th house. In finding enjoyable hobbies, or just feeling lighter and more artistic. I'm having currently Jupiter in the 5th house, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel much more joyful, much more happier. And Saturn and Neptune move into your 2nd house, where they'll join almost in July, and then in February 2026, starting a new 35 cycle. So Pisces will discover a new source of income and totally new values sometime over the next 2 years. Like what they liked as food, as clothes, as smells can change so much. And how they make money can so change. Their worth, their self-worth, their net worth. Some new idea can come to them with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. But initially it might be like uncertain and a bit scary. But you have 35 years to unfold this. If you're an artist, for example, Saturn and Neptune meeting in your 2nd house can mean that you want to change, you change the materials you work with, you change what the style that you have as well sometimes. Also the 2nd house, as I said, is money, but I speak a lot more about the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in your 2nd house, which not many of you will feel in 2025. 2025 is mostly you feel Saturn in your 1st house, because then it moves from September back again. You feel the North Node in your 1st house, which breaks the chains of Saturn a bit, to be a bit more risk-taking. But Saturn comes back again, so you have to be at least the last 5 degrees of Pisces to be more conservative still this year. The end of the year as well. But Jupiter is all the time from June onwards looking at you, so nothing bad will happen, or everything good with your personal intelligence and your good karma from past lifetimes. With Jupiter unlocks in the 5th house. This is where your good karma is, your good rewards. You get blessed, and something saves you, and you save yourself with your original thinking and being much more aligned with your true self. So definitely, Pisces, you're discovering who you are. There is a lot of support for you this year. The last few degrees of Pisces are having the most intense energy, but otherwise you'll see such a lightening of energetically lifting up and things starting to align so perfectly from the middle of the year when Jupiter enters your 5th house.